Hey there, hockey fans. Welcome to my 2020 Jersey Collection update video. So, I've put out two other videos like this in the past with my NHL Jersey Collection, and I want to show you all the jerseys I've collected for the last couple of years, honestly, especially those that I've collected in the last 16 months or so since I put out my last collection video. So, I hope that if you haven't already, consider subscribing to this channel down below because I am putting out content on jerseys as well as hockey culture and hockey history at large. So my friends, the way I'm going to do this is actually in accordance with the divisions that we'll have in the 2021 season. So we'll have our North Division with our Canadian teams, we'll have then our Central teams, our East, and then we'll finish with the West because my team, the San Jose Sharks, well, they're going to be featured quite a lot in this video. So first, though, I want to start out with my defunct teams, and then we'll have some fun with going through each NHL team from there. All right, guys, so without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so defunct NHL franchises. This is one of my favorites in the collection, and as some of you know, it's actually my favorite jersey of all time. I've got this beautiful Quebec Nordiques that I got from Hockey Authentic, and I had it customized. This isn't Joe Sakic, believe it or not. Instead of number 19, this is number 18, Twisted Wrister. Absolute beauty right here. The only thing I don't like about this is that this is actual vinyl here instead of an actual patch. Maybe I'll eventually work with somebody to give me some real patches that I can put on there. Same thing with the bottom, but nonetheless, I love this color combination. I'm so excited to see the Avalanche bringing this back in their color scheme. Very much a fan of this and the white one as well, but for now, I have just this blue one right here. Next up, this is one that I got from Van City Sports. Got ourselves the Oakland Seals. I believe they were the Oakland Seals when this jersey specifically was worn. Just a really interesting color scheme. No team had done that before, at least not to my knowledge. Really nice striping pattern in my opinion. This is a CCM vintage, just like this one here, the Nordiques one I just showed off. But this one's actually using Ultrafill. I personally like this more. This is more soft versus the more durable sort of Masca material, the AirKnit material. That's the one I'm thinking of. So love me this Oakland Seals one right here. You can't really find it elsewhere. Kind of hard to locate. Just really nice detailing on this overall. And yeah, of course, a piece of Bay Area hockey history. That's where I come from. Next up, we have another classic defunct team, although the franchise is still around. I've got the Hartford Whalers right here. This is a CCM Team Classics that I got on eBay from Full Moon Jerseys. I have lots of jerseys to show off in my collection from Full Moon. The reason why I definitely wanted to add this, not just because of the great logo, but of course you got Pucky the Whale. The material here is more of a vinyl here, so it's not very durable, but it is sewn on, so that's kind of nice. Kind of like the Seals, you got just a classic blue and green color scheme that worked really well in that era, I think. And yeah, just a great jersey, no doubt. Even better than the last one I showed, I got this home jersey, or at least a dark jersey because it was away at the time. This one I also bought from Van City Sports, like the Seals one. This is a CCM vintage that uses the AirKnit material, so not the Ultrafill that you saw on the Seals. This is also a blank. Who knows, maybe one day I could get Gordie Howe on this. And of course, I like this one over the Adidas one that the Hurricanes had worn in the Adidas era because you got Pucky the Whale on the shoulders here. So absolute classic. A jersey collector. Every jersey collector should have Whalers, I believe at least. Okay, and one more to go. Now, this isn't the one that I want the most in my collection, but nonetheless, I found this online for like $85, something like that. Not so bad. It is a CCM Thrashers white jersey here. Of course, you got this great pattern at the bottom and also on the neckline here. I love those details. And yeah, just a pretty interesting color scheme. You had this gold in addition to the sort of navy and brick red. Yeah, of course, I want to add the powder blue one to my collection. I want to get a Coho one, or like a CCM, not the actual Reebok one, because they totally nixed the pattern at the bottom. So those are my defunct franchises. Now let's take a look at Canadian teams. And that was my dryer. Okay, so first Canadian team, the Vancouver Canucks. I will start with this Reebok right here that I got off of Fanatics a while back. Pretty good deal. I think it was like $60 or something like that. And one reason why I got this one is because on the back we've got great American-born goaltender Ryan Miller. He's had a fantastic career. He might even go down as the greatest American goaltender, at least of his era, if not all time. One reason why I like this, I generally like the stick and rink. I think that the way it was modified here was very nice. I like the striping on this too. And I also am a big fan of anything with Johnny Canuck on it. I know some people don't like that, but I in particular, I am a fan, believe it or not. And my other Canucks jersey, and you probably saw that in the thumbnail, I have this absolute beauty here. I've got the skate. Look at the logo. That just looks fantastic, doesn't it? This is a hand-sewn jersey from Cool Hockey. And even though he didn't sign with them, unfortunately, in the offseason, I am very much a fan of Jacob Markstrom. So I think he and Miller are the only goaltenders I have jerseys for. Love this black, yellow, and red color scheme. It just works so well. And yeah, I mean, this is probably one of my favorite jerseys that's currently being used in the NHL right now. I would love to see the Canucks wearing this full time. But, I mean, their existing look is still okay as well. So, Cool Hockey, lovely job on the customization. And yeah, I'm always happy to show this one off. Perhaps even better than that last jersey is what I have for Calgary. So, I've got two sweaters. I really want to get Blasty in reverse retro, but, it's all sold out now. We'll see what happens, though. But nonetheless, this is, I can't even say this would be consolation because this is fantastic here. This is a Reebok Airknit classic, throwback jersey from them. And you see the C here. Well, it's not Lanny McDonald. We've got Iggy on the back. Absolute gem of a player, power forward, captain, fighter at times. I love this. I found this on eBay. One of the first jerseys I had in my collection for about $55 or $60. And I didn't even think this was real at first when it arrived. But yeah, it is a real jersey. All of these are authentic or NHL licensed jerseys. But I actually kind of find myself liking this one a little bit more, especially because it's Adidas. And this is just, it's magnificent. Magnificent. Now, this is specifically the Heritage Classic jersey that the team wore in 2019 when they played against the Winnipeg Jets. And I got this one from hockeyauthentic.com. I love their customization. It's fantastic. And they did a very nice job on this one for me because on the back, just like the Nordiques one, we have number 18, myself, Twisted Wrister. So Hockey Authentic, just an absolute banger job with this one. Now we travel just north of them to Edmonton. And I'll start out with this Reebok blank that I have here, the Orange Crush that they wore for about 4 or 5 years in the Reebok era. I'm actually a big fan of this jersey. I like this certainly more than what the team currently wears at home. So it's blank, but I just love the design of it's very straightforward and has good contrast between the colors. And yeah, I really like the collar as well. So lovely jersey. Where did I find this one? I think I got this one on Fanatics as well. Did I? No, I got this one from River City Sports in Winnipeg, I'm pretty sure. That's another great outlet for finding all sorts of jerseys. So River City Sports hooked me up with this for about $50 or $60. I think $60. And these are American values, by the way. Next up is one that I got off an auction from Full Moon Jerseys on eBay. We have what was the home jersey for the Oilers during half of the Reebok era, essentially. There's no C on it, but on the back, we do have Mr. McJesus himself. Of course, one of the most thrilling players of this era. So kind of like the Orange Crush, you got Royal and you've got Orange here, just good contrast. Great straightforward design, 3 stripes on the bottom, 3 stripes on the sleeves. I like the colored sleeves at the end too. Very nice. I like this more than, what the team currently wears at home, just like the Orange Crush. But that said, I'm actually a big fan of this next one that the team currently wears, and that's their away jersey. Again, just really like the straightforward design and the contrast between the colors. The logo, now you can see it in Adidas. Looks very, very classy, I believe. And on, as you might have seen on the numbers, this is really special, guys, because we have Colby Cave, rest in peace. And the way that I got this jersey was that I had a live stream, and the theme of it was help me pick my next jersey. And so we came up with 3 or 4 different ideas. We had like an international jersey on there. I think we had like an AHL or ECHL team on there. And then we had Colby Cave. And then I asked people, okay, like let's vote on this. So we basically went through these elaborate series of questions to kind of narrow the field. And then, yeah, ultimately the community voted for Colby Cave. And I'm thrilled to have this in my collection. And yeah, of course, we keep his memory alive, right? So awesome jersey. This one also comes from Cool Hockey, hand sewn, a terrific job. And yeah, I'm thrilled to have this one displayed in my collection. Okay, now we go to the Winnipeg Jets, and this one I found on eBay in an auction for like $25, $30 maybe. It's just a blank one, Reebok, of course, Reebok home jersey. But it was, arrived in pretty good condition. I mean, for that price, you just couldn't beat it. I'm a big fan of the Jets jerseys overall. Even the reverse retro, I really like that one. The blue alternate one, the aviator blue one, I don't like that one. But the other ones are all terrific, I think. So yeah, not too special here, but nonetheless, I love the two-tone blue. I'm sure a lot of you do as well. But I got one more that definitely tops this one. Now, Shannon, the hockey guy, had listed this at one point as his favorite jersey, I think in his collection. And you know what? I gotta agree. It is definitely up there. It was in my countdown of my favorite jerseys of all time. This Winnipeg Jets that they wore at the Heritage Classic, I think in 2016, and then reissued in Adidas is magnificent. Again, three stripes down here, separation between the colors. That's the way to do it, in my opinion. And you got this beautiful chain-stitched logo up here. So one of my favorites in my collection, even though it's blank, and a great example as to why a white jersey can look just magnificent. So this is up there among my favorites as well. Now on to Toronto. Now, technically, this is a defunct team that I represent here, but the team actually wore a jersey of it. So I'm going to count this as a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey. So we have a St. Pat's. This is a design they were wearing back in the 1920s, or at least this is close to it. And on the back, we have now the captain, John Tavares. So I found this on River City Sports, and overall, I think I paid $100 or $105 for this. Really unique font. The lettering, this sort of thing, is not necessarily what the team wore back then, but just kind of like an interpretation of that. Of course, I love the green and white together. There's not enough green in the NHL, in my opinion. And yeah, this is overall a very solid, fun jersey to wear. And it's not the only Tavares one in my collection either. This is also one of the first jerseys in my collection. Straightforward, it's a Toronto Maple Leafs home jersey, Reebok. I would like to get an Adidas one at some point. Now, what you see here is actually a personal customization. So I ordered off of eBay a set of letters and a nameplate that I ironed on, and I have some work to do to touch this thing up. But the reason why I did it was because it was Patrick Marleau's first year of 2 with the club, and I decided to cheer for Toronto in addition to my Sharks. And so I had some fun ironing this on. I wore this jersey when I went to a game in Tampa. I took a trip to Florida, saw the Solar Bears, and then the next day I went to Tampa, saw the Maple Leafs and the Lightning. Such a fun game, went into a shootout. And then the next day I flew back home to the Bay Area, the other Bay Area on the West Coast, and I went to a Sharks game that night. So I saw 3 different hockey games in 3 nights. So three different arenas. Okay, and I got one more. Okay, now this one is a gem as well. The 2018 Stadium Series that they had at the Air Force, or not, the Naval Academy, I think, in Annapolis. So I love this. The only thing to me that it's missing is a little blue stripe at the bottom. That would just be perfect. Some point I'd like to get this customized for somebody who played back then, Marleau, or I don't know, maybe Kapanen or something. And then you got the Honor, Pride, Courage on the sleeves here that you probably can't see. But yeah, just white and blue look so good together in my opinion, definitely. Now I have 3 Senators jerseys, and all of them have come from eBay sellers. So these are all from auctions. We got this first one right here. This is the second iteration, or the second version of the team's original white sweater. I guess that was their original home from this was probably worn around 1995. This is a pro player. It's the only pro player I have in my collection. But I really like the sleeve design here. I like the colored, the use of color here for most of the sleeve, honestly. And I wish that the Sens would have done that with their kind of revamped home and away jerseys right now. I don't like them personally. But yeah, this is a good design. Yeah, I need to kind of like wash this a little bit. But nonetheless, pretty good for only about, $30 or something like that. So good start to the Sens collection. Next up is the original dark jersey that this team wore in 1992. You can tell because it actually says Ottawa Senators here on the outside. This jersey is really small, but it's an adult medium from back then. So at least buy a size up if you're looking to collect from that era. But I really like this. I like the red stripes with the black. Looks great. The bronze looks pretty nice with it too. It's got a little sparkle, a little shine to it. So yeah, real solid jersey. And then lastly, this is my favorite one in my collection. I've got the O jersey, the alternate that the team wore in the Reebok era. And he wasn't captain at the time, but on the back, we've got current San Jose Shark, Erik Karlsson. So real cool. I love these shoulder logos, even though these are cheap and vinyl. It's cool how they have it in both English and in French. Just nice color combination here. Love the off-white. And even more so than this jersey, I'm a huge fan of the 2014 Heritage Classic when they were cream as the primary color. So I'd love to see that either come back or to find a way to collect that jersey, definitely. And I've got one more team from Canada, and that's the Montreal Canadiens. So I have two jerseys here. First of all, I have the classic red. This is a CCM from, I think, the late 90s. And I think this has been customized. You see the C right here. So can you think of somebody who was a good captain during this era of sweaters? I know that's like you could name 20 different players. Well, this will help you figure this out. So there's no nameplate on this, but we've got number 10. It's got to be Guy Lafleur, baby. So one of the all-time leading scorer in Canadiens history. I couldn't pass this up. This was one that I found on eBay for like, what, $25 or $30. So a great buy, I think. I'd like to eventually get an Adidas or some sort of authentic jersey, but yeah, this is an absolute classic, no doubt. And then this other one I found from an eBay seller, won it in an auction. Nobody bid on it. I think, again, like $25, $28, something like that. This is a gem, guys. I love this. The 2016 Winter Classic jersey. I love these, patches here that you have on the arms. They wore this to commemorate being the world champions. This is back in like 1920 something. So love these colors here as well. You have this kind of like lighter blue versus their normal royal blue. You have this lovely collar here. I love these with the, the sweater collar. And then you have L and H because they're French Canadian. And we've got PK Subban on the back, and you have this cool like zigzag sort of pattern with the numbers. That has to do something with the actual grid design of the city of Montreal. Absolute classic, and shipped to me in basically new condition. So love this one. Okay, now we're in the Central Division, and basically this is a combination of teams in the middle of the country along with the South. So we'll start down in the South, which is gonna kick off with the Florida Panthers here, the Florida Panthers. And this is a Reebok blank that I found on eBay for about $65. Not in the greatest condition, but you got to consider that this is really hard to find unless you buy a Fanatics right now. Although I'm kicking myself because a couple of days ago, somebody bought a new Adidas, brand new, size 46 on eBay for $84. And I was watching it, but I forgot to like jump in and bid. So I'm kind of ticked off about that. But nonetheless, it's a cool design to have in my collection. One of the nicer road jerseys in the NHL, in my opinion. And yeah, really nice. Next up, and I'm really happy to have this one in my collection as well, we have the home version of the jersey, and this is an Adidas. So you have the lovely detailing on the logo, along with these great arm patches, I guess. So yeah, big fan of that. I like how Florida kind of has that with the different tags and labels for captains and alternates. And even though this is a blank, I think it still stands out pretty well. And I'd like to get this customized at some point. I picked this up from River City Sports for 40% off of the normal price, which is like $105 US, give or take. My last Florida jersey is one that I wasn't expecting to add to my collection, but for the deal, it was something I couldn't pass up. I think I paid about $55 for this, new with tags. This right here is a starter authentic. So look at the detailing in the Panther here. Super cool. I had no idea that I could find something this wonderful. It's a lot heavier, of course, and you got these fun shoulder logos right here. It is a blank, but yeah, I mean, could not pass up on this one whatsoever. Just really like the detailing with the patches here. It came with its own nameplate too. I mean, of course, you'd have to get that actually customized, but nonetheless, for like for about $55, this is great. It's a size 46 starter authentic. And I don't have any other jerseys quite like that in this collection. So awesome addition I never expected to have. Now on to the Cup champions most recently, the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I have this Coho replica here. I actually got this from somebody in the San Francisco Bay Area through OfferUp. And then we met in person I think I got this for $25. And yeah, an absolute steal. I like this design. Tampa, not my favorite jerseys in the NHL, but this would probably be my second favorite design that they've had. You got these cool shoulder logos here as well. And now they have the reverse retro in blue. I think think that's kind of a nice addition to their jersey portfolio, if you will. Next up is probably my favorite Tampa design right here. The first run at Reebok jerseys for them. So I like the blue and the white on the sleeves. I just wish there was a little bit of that at the bottom here. The logo is updated, and I think it still looks pretty good. And on the back, we've got Steven Stamkos, the captain. So this jersey was, I think, issued during his rookie season. And you got the victory stripes, of course, along the underside of the arm right here. Not the coolest jersey I've ever seen, but nonetheless, something that's kind of rare, and I wanted to make sure I had this one in my collection for sure. I got this on eBay for about $90, $95 from a seller there. Good pickup. Next up is the only Carolina Hurricanes jersey in my collection, and it's probably my favorite, or at least my second favorite. It is their current home jersey in Adidas. This is a blank. I picked this up for about $120, I think, from Dick's Sporting Goods. Really like the kind of stealth-looking storm flag pattern on the bottom here. And, of course, in the neckline as well. That's beautiful. I would like to get the original black jersey that they had during the Reebok era. That is the one that I am seeking the most. Whaler stuff, you already saw a couple jerseys there. And I'm not a huge fan of the current storm flag jersey, the black one. I think it's good. It's not my favorite, though. Next up, we have the Nashville Predators, and this is the only Fanatics jersey in my collection. Of course, this is their current home jersey. And I have actually removed the tag from the bottom here, and I have a video on that in case you haven't seen that. And on the back here, we have Ryan Ellis, one of my favorite defensemen in the NHL, even more so than Roman Josi, strangely enough. Now, I got this jersey because about a week or two afterwards, I was going to Nashville to go to a game there, and I had a really fun trip and a real fun time at Bridgestone Arena, so I wanted to make sure I had a Preds jersey with me. My other Nashville jersey is one I found off of eBay. This is their first run of jerseys, and you can actually tell because of the shoulder logo here. So they eventually updated that to the sort of Paleolithic Predator, and yeah, this was one reason why the Predators were actually my second favorite team for a little while there in the aughts. I thought that their jerseys were so cool. Kind of has like a motocross jersey sort of feel. So I wanted to pick this up for kind of nostalgia purposes. I found this on eBay for like $75. So I thought, you know what? I might not see this for a better price. Of course, the real jersey I want is the alternate they had in the Reebok era. The navy blue one with the checkerboard at the bottom. I'm willing to pay top dollar. At least I say that. Now on to the Western Conference champions from this most recent season. We've got the Dallas Stars. I'll kick things off with this nice victory green Reebok that I have here that I got from Cool Hockey. So another Cool Hockey job on this one. I don't think it's hand sewn, but nonetheless, I'm happy to turn it over because on the back we got Norwegian gem Mats Zuccarello. Of course, he doesn't play for them anymore, and I bought this during the offseason a year ago. And of course, I thought he was going to re-sign with them. He played so well in his limited time there, but of course, he went on to Minnesota. But nonetheless, I love this color combination. Yeah, it's a Blackhawks jersey in victory green, but nonetheless, as I mentioned earlier, I think green is a little underrepresented in the NHL, so I had to have this one. And what Dallas Stars jersey collection would be complete without this beaut right here? This grew on me. Now, back in the 90s and the early 2000s, I actually didn't like this one, but looking back on it, man, this is super cool. Even though the logo's a little wrinkled here. On the back, we've got ourselves maybe the greatest American-born player of all time, unless you want to put Patrick Kane up there, and that's Mike Modano, number 9. Just a great color combination right here. Such a unique design, which had originated, I believe, in the 1997 All-Star Game. That was kind of the first time we saw this sort of design for jerseys here. I got this off of eBay for like $100, $105 from just a random seller. And yeah, definitely my favorite Stars jersey. Okay, now on to the Blackhawks. And I have 4 jerseys here. And this one right here was the first one I'd start with because it's just a blank Reebok. I got it on eBay for about $25 just from a random seller. Nothing super fancy to this, but classic design. I do want to customize this one day. It's so that I can wear this when I'm outside playing probably street hockey, if that gives you an idea. So that's the first one. The next one is one of the first in my collections, and I love their away jersey. This is one I bought off the Fanatics website. This is before I really knew about all these great places where you can find cheaper deals on jerseys, and I need to wash this one apparently. That's either coffee or chocolate. I consume both religiously. And on the back, we've got NBC Sports, Butte, Patrick Sharp, probably my favorite Blackhawks player from that era. And yeah, I just love this design, kind of like the Oilers I was showing earlier. You know, 3 stripes at the bottom with separation between the colors, 3 stripes on the sleeves. You got the colored cuffs as well. Great logo, great design, and this looks terrific just as part of an outfit. This next one I got off of Full Moon Jerseys for about $90. Pretty solid deal at that time. This is an Adidas. This is their first run with, yes, the toilet seat collar. Why did the Sharks have to use that for their 30th anniversary jersey? I am so pissed about that. But one reason why I decided to pick this was because you got the chain-stitched logo right here. Just great detailing. And then you also have on the back, the Haas, Marian Hossa, the pride of Slovakia. And so he never actually wore this Adidas jersey because he had basically retired. But yeah, they had already issued plenty of those in terms of manufacturing, and then Full Moon picked some up. And I said, all right, a nice Blackhawks jersey. I can't go wrong with this one whatsoever. I got one more Hawks jersey. This one is the most unique of my Blackhawks jerseys and one of the more unique ones in my collection. This right here is a reissuing of a jersey they wore, I think, back in the 40s or 50s. And this was reissued in 1991 for the league's 75th year anniversary. So all the original 6 teams had these reissued throwback jerseys. This one came from a random eBayer. Came in very nice condition. It's using the CCM Ultra Fill, so it's a very light but comfortable jersey. Paid about $60 for this one, more or less, and I'm certainly a fan of this. I think that this is kind of an underrated jersey overall. Now to the Columbus Blue Jackets. I have 2 jerseys from them. This is the first one that I had purchased from them. This is a Reebok Cannon, and I love the Cannon. I'm a huge fan of that design, whether in this color scheme or in the current color scheme. I wish they would try something with that. That'd be a lot of fun. Love the off-white on this, and I love the We Fight, We March with the stars there. Just, you know, real cool kind of throwback to something that resembles sort of the Civil War era. And on the back here, we have Ryan Johansson. It's crazy to think he was a Blue Jacket at some point. And I got this off of hockeyjerseyoutlet.com. So they mostly have premieres, but they also have some authentics, but their stock is a little low. I would head over there and see if you can find something that interests you. I bought this for like $90, $95, which I thought was a pretty good deal considering I couldn't find this elsewhere, at least not in the States here. The other Jackets jersey that I have is pretty unique, I think, because it wasn't really worn by the team that much. This is a blank, but this is the 2003 alternate. So this was when the team, I think, first issued this logo right here. And then you have this black bottom of the jersey, and you have these black arms as well with these stars on it. I love the stars. I think that kind of makes it right there. A little bit of red at the sleeves. This is new with tags. Now, I paid $100 or $105 for this, so it wasn't cheap, but considering it was new with tags, I said, all right, I'm not going to pass up on this. This is a unique one. Not too many people have this in their collection. I also really like the collar on this, by the way. And the last team in the Central Division, the Detroit Red Wings. Of course, you have to have a classic red, and you have to have probably a classic white. I have a different version of the white one I'll share briefly. This I got off of Full Moon Jerseys for about $60, I think. And the reason why I got this one in particular, the Magic Man, Pavel Datsyuk, one of the most exciting players I've ever seen. And this one I think is better than their current road sweater, and it actually might be my favorite Wings sweater ever. It's kind of up there. That is the Centennial Classic jersey from, I think, 2017 when they played the Maple Leafs. And this is gorgeous. I just love the little silver striping here, and it has all the years in which the team has won the Stanley Cup. I think it has the earlier years on the right sleeve right here. Love the silver and the logo. I think that looks actually really nice. I just wish that they would have something kind of like this that incorporates some silver as an alternate jersey. It could be a red jersey. It could be a white jersey. Just a really great addition to the collection here. I got this one from River City Sports, I think for $50 American. So fantastic deal there. Okay, it's time to kick off the East Division. And what better way to get things started than this classic right here, the Goat Head. This is a starter replica. It's, you know, it's fairly worn, but nonetheless, I got it for about $60. Not terrible. Would like to maybe eventually get one that is brand new or maybe a reissue of that. The red and black color scheme, just this great angry pissed off buffalo or bison, I guess. Yeah, love this one. I got this off an eBayer who was based out of Japan, and I have 2 more jerseys from him as well. Don't worry, this is a licensed product, even though it's coming from the other side of the world. Super cool. I love this one so much. And my other Buffalo jersey, at least for the time being, we have this classic royal design here. This is a CCM Team Classics that I bought off of Full Moon Jerseys, I think for $40 or $50 there. I just love this color scheme. Blue and yellow always look great together. You have the classic Sabres logo right here. Yeah, not too much to say about this otherwise. Maybe I'll get it customized one day. One of these Buffalo jerseys has to be Dominik Hasek. The other one has to be Maxim Afinogenov, definitely. Now onto the Boston Bruins, and this is by far my favorite Bruins jersey, despite the lack of a little waist striping. That would have been perfect. But this is a gem. This is the alternate that they wore in the Reebok era here. It's a blank, but yeah, I like this because you got the symmetrical logo on the shoulders. I'm a fan of that. And to me, this actually has more substance to it than the classic logo. And yeah, eventually I'll get around to collecting one more Bruins jersey. The same for other teams that I only have one jersey for. Got this off of eBay from a random seller. This arrived like new. I only paid, I think, yeah, $25 to $30 for it. And this is my only Penguins jersey. Kind of like the Bruins, I always find myself, there's like always one thing that kind of prevents me from buying a certain jersey from them. This Penguins one though, this is the ultimate right here. The 2008 Winter Classic that was also used as an alternate. Love the powder blue. You know, somehow the color scheme works for me, even though it's quite odd. Yeah, this has some coffee stains up here, so I have to wash this. It's a blank, but nonetheless, I'm so happy that I have this in my collection. This was one of the ones I had always set out to collect from the onset. Got this from an eBayer for, yeah, about $25 to $30. Oddly enough, that guy was actually based in the Bay Area, like I used to be. And of course, buying this was kind of odd at first because it wasn't that far removed from the Penguins beating my Sharks in the Cup Finals. Now on to their cross-state rival, the Flyers. So the first of the two that I have here is a standard Reebok home jersey. Love this bright orange right here. And on the back, we have a custom job, Jakub Voracek. And this is actually signed by him. And I had a friend who collects sports cards, and he says, yeah, that's got to be a real signature there. So really cool to have this. I bought this off of eBay from a seller for about $75. So I thought a pretty good deal for an autographed jersey right there. So this jersey right here, guys, this is the ultimate Flyers jersey. This is the best in their arsenal. And it's one of my absolute favorites of all time. I think I had this in my top 4 favorite jersey designs of all time. Love the off-white on this. It looks so cool with the orange, in my opinion. And on the back, we've got Scott Laughton when he wore the number 49. This was used in the 2012 Winter Classic. I got this off of Full Moon Jerseys. I think I won this in an auction for about $45, so terrific value there. And of course, when Full Moon ships you the jerseys, they're always new with tags. So absolutely love this orange and black, looks so great. Okay, now to the Washington Capitals, and no, I don't have the reverse retro, and I kind of am kicking myself for not jumping on that as soon as possible, but I do have just 2 beautiful jerseys from them, absolutely beautiful. I don't know which one I'm going to show first. We'll do this one first. This comes from Full Moon Jerseys. This is what they wore in the 2011 Winter Classic, just a classic Capitals design here, reimagined for Reebok. I love these stars on the arms right here. Just a straightforward, clean design. I know that some people say that that's not a logo. Nonetheless, it works for me. I really like this, no doubt. And as a compliment to that, I have what they wore as an alternate just a couple years after that. I got this off of the Fanatics site, I think for $50. So kind of a steal there at the time. I know that obviously the team's wearing this as a Reebok, or excuse me, as an Adidas. I'd like to eventually maybe upgrade that, but it's not at the top of my list. So my 2 favorite Caps designs. I've got 2 jerseys from Jersey. The first one is a red Reebok replica with, I think, much better striping. I like the waist stripe on this one. Colored shoulders that are rounded like they should be. And on the back, we've got Ilya Kovalchuk. I found this one on Full Moon Jerseys about $45, $50. So overall, pretty good value here. One of the first non-Sharks jerseys that I added to my collection. And just a great design overall. My other Devil sweater, now I wanted to buy the Adidas equivalent of this originally, but then I found a pretty good deal online for an actual vintage sweater. So this is going back to the early 1990s, like 1992 or something around that era. It is an ultra fill, and this is green, in case you can't tell if the camera's not picking it up. So anything you see here that might look black is actually green. I think I bought this for $55, so I figured that maybe I wouldn't find a better deal on an Adidas, so I went with this one. It's great. It looks really, really nice. Better than I remember it, honestly. Now we have the New York Islanders, and I have 3 Isles jerseys. We'll start with the first one I bought. This is a CCM from the early aughts, more or less. So you have the navy blue, which I still think looks pretty good with the orange here. This, of course, is very similar to what the team now has as their reverse retro, except this one actually had this patch on here, which is interesting because this, of course, represents the team's 4 Stanley Cups, but it wasn't actually on the logo at that time. Eventually that got added in. Nice jersey. It is Tim Connolly, who was a pretty solid player for a couple of teams there. Number 18, that's my number. So I figured for like 20 or 25 bucks, why not scoop this up? I got this off of eBay. Another jersey I found off eBay, again, for what, like, I don't even know if I got this for $40. It might have been cheaper. We have this Reebok blue jersey here, the royal blue, captain on it. Of course, guys, it's John Tavares. So I figured for that deal, why not? Had a number on it. Good jersey. You know, I think that it looks just as good, if not better, in Adidas. And I think the team should always stick with this. But this next jersey, come on, guys. It was a missed opportunity to bring this one back. Why? Why do we not see this on the ice right now? This is the original one. This is not a reissue or a fake or anything like that. It's blank, thankfully, because the way that they had the nameplates and the numbers was so wonky. Love the Fisherman logo. Love the teal, the sort of aqua teal here. It looks like an Aqua Fresh toothpaste. Yeah, love the lighthouses on the shoulders too. This is great. I got this off an eBay for, I think, with tax and everything and shipping, it was $141. So that's a pretty good deal for this jersey, believe it or not. It's not that much more than you would pay for like a Fanatics reissuing of it. So, my friend, you are always welcome in this home and on the ice if the Isles ever want to bring it back. Shame on you, Lou. And the last team in this division, the New York Rangers. I've got 3 jerseys here. We're going to start with this white one that I got off a seller on eBay for about, again, like $40 or $50. And it's got a big old alternate here. It's not exactly the way that the team customizes their jerseys, but it's close enough. And on the back, we've got, once again, the Norwegian standout, Mats Zuccarello. Love the font here, how it's arched here. Just the color combination, the shading or drop shadow, or the stroke on the numbers is terrific. Just great striping, classic jersey design, no complaints pretty much. The only thing I would say is if this were rounded off at the shoulders, that's the only thing I would request. Otherwise, love this one. And of course, what would a Rangers collection be without the classic home sweater? Terrific here as well. And as you see here, there's a captain. And on the back, we've got ourselves Ryan McDonough. So I bought this off of Full Moon Jerseys, or I won it in an auction there, about $45 or so. So I figured this would be a great start to my Rangers collection. This is the first one that I added, like the established in 1926 in the collar there. Great jersey. And I'm kind of upset that the Rangers didn't decide to actually do something at the waist or at the sleeves with this, but when they went reverse retro, but this original one right here does it for me. It's a replica. This is one that I got from the same eBay seller in Japan. You got these Rangers crests here on the shoulders, and yeah, the silver actually works pretty well with this, I gotta say. The Lady Liberty, it wasn't my favorite jersey when it came out, but it's interesting because I like the word mark as the home and away. I don't think they should change that, but having this as an alternate is just perfect. Whether, this is navy blue or royal blue. Red would be kind of odd, though, in my opinion. So that's going to do it for all the teams in the East. Now we're going to go to the West. Okay, so kicking off the West are the 3 teams that have moved over from the Central for this season. We're going to start with the Minnesota Wild. Got this lovely script jersey from the Reebok alternate. It's an alternate jersey, of course. And I got this from Full Moon Jerseys just after he was traded. We've got Swiss-born Nino Niederreiter here. I just love this, man. The sweater-like collar with the laces. Just the red it takes a backseat to the green and the off-white. And I think green and off-white actually complement each other very nicely. So this was also in my countdown of favorite jerseys of all time. And it still would be up there too. Now, when it comes to my favorite home jersey in the NHL, it's kind of hard not to have these guys still at number 1. That is the current Minnesota Wild home jersey. The logo, just gorgeous, man. Look at that logo. with the M on the shoulders. That looks terrific too. Got Mikhail Granlund here on the back. This is actually a Cool Hockey hand-stitched jersey. And the first one in my collection. I just love this, man. The green, the off-white, the way that red is used, even here in the collar, I think that looks pretty nice. Just beautiful here. Now to the St. Louis Blues, and we'll start with this one right here. I have two jerseys. This is the home jersey that the team wore the second go-around in the Reebok era. You got the two-tone blue here, of course. And on the back, we've got probably my favorite player outside of my San Jose Sharks, and that is TJ Oshie. Just such an amazing moment when he won the Stanley Cup, to see his father in the building there, and the interview that Oshie gave, like, that's kind of makes the eyes water a little bit. Love this design overall. You got the rounded shoulders. The striping on this is actually really cool too. Classic logo, although I like the original design of the logo. We'll get to that in a second. Just really real nice all around. Real solid jersey, and they still look pretty good when it comes to the Adidas jerseys. Although the one thing I like about these is the yellow numbers. I think that the white ones, they don't do it as much for me. And I got this from Full Moon Jerseys for about, again, like $50 maybe. Without question, this is my favorite Blues jersey, and with the exception of the Nordiques, this is my favorite jersey of all time in the NHL. This guy right here, the 2017 Winter Classic St. Louis Blues with the original Blues logo and the off-white here. Just enough of the color contrast, I think. The sweater-like collar here, perfect. And on the back, got ourselves Vlad Tarasenko, number 91. And you have these felt-like numbers, which I think are terrific for these outdoor games. I didn't point that out earlier when it came to some of the other jerseys, like the St. Pat's, even though that wasn't an outdoor game, as well as my Canadiens 2016 Winter Classic. The felt just adds a layer of nostalgia and vintage feel to it. So this is terrific. This is my favorite jersey. Eventually, I'd like to get this in Adidas, but not high priority right now. And I got this from Retro to Heritage on eBay. So they used to have a lot of these available. Unfortunately, though, they're all sold out. I've got 3 Colorado Avalanche jerseys, and this is the first one I picked up. I believe this, I can't believe I got this for $33 from a seller on eBay. And on the back, we have a guy who doesn't play for them anymore, hence the cheaper price, Matt Duchene. This jersey here, I like the design quite a bit. My only complaint is if they had rounded shoulders. Of course, you have the Colorado state flag or something that looks akin to that on the shoulder here. I think the navy looks better with this maroon here, as long as you have that nice little separation with the white here. Looks great in Adidas too, so lovely jersey there. I got 2 more Avs. This Avs jersey here I actually got from Justin at Hands Down Hockey because he has giveaways through his Patreon, so make sure you go check that out if you haven't already. So I won his giveaway for a certain month, and so he had plenty of jerseys for me to choose from. I went with this Avs one right here. Could use a waist stripe, I guess, but nonetheless, it's okay. I think that the way that they have tweaked it for Adidas looks actually very nice. So yeah, you got the Yeti foot here on the shoulders, and it's blank. Not too much to say about this, except I'm going to say a little bit more about it in just a second. And what I mean by that is that I have this jersey again, although a couple little differences. First of all, you've got the C here in reference to the Colorado state flag. And if you didn't see already, this is actually a Reebok Authentic. So I got this most recently from a Cool Hockey mystery box. So I paid $75 American dollars for a mystery jersey, and they sent me this one. A lot of people got this one, or a Sharks Indo Edge as well. So yeah, you have this higher quality logo here with layered fabric. And overall, the material's a little different. The jersey is heavier. And Neil talked about that in a recent video on Post to Post as well. So check that out if you haven't already. Yeah, just really cool because this is the only Reebok Authentic I have in my collection. Again, this is a Indo Edge. So this is different from previous iterations of the Edge jersey. Nonetheless, it's cool to say I actually have one of these. And I'd like to buy a couple more Reebok Authentics as well. Okay, so now these next 5 teams are typically in the Pacific Division. We'll start with the Arizona Coyotes. And I have this blank one here. I do like it. I think that the Coyotes did a nice job with adding the black into this and, kind of redesigning the sleeves. So I thought, just starting out with the Coyotes at the time, I would want to have this in my collection. Especially, I got it for a pretty good deal. I got it for about $50 or $55, brand new on the Fanatic site. And you have, of course, the Kachina pattern in the collar there. I love that touch. So it's not my favorite jersey in the NHL by any means, but I think it's still pretty solid for the Coyotes. It's much better than what they were wearing just before that, in my opinion. This next one is certainly one of the most unique in my collections. I love it. It turned out fantastic. It is a Kachina Adidas Authentic, and you can see here there's an alternate letter here. And on the back, in case you haven't seen this already, we've got Biz Nasty on here, Paul Bissonnette. He was number 12 with them. He was never an alternate captain, I don't believe, but I thought I'd throw the A on there because that's free when Cool Hockey does customization. That's where I got this jersey. This was great because basically I found a loophole on their website, and so I ended up paying like, what, $110 for this, maybe, because basically I got the customization for free, even though it wasn't supposed to be like that. Just love this Kachina pattern. You know, you have it in the collar here as well, which looks great. Looks better than what they had back in the 90s with respect to the collar design. You got these Coyotes on the shoulder patches here. So that's, you know, you got this purple, purple, dark red and green really go well together, don't they, guys? So I'd like to see this reimagined with the team's current color scheme, but nonetheless, just such a cool design. How could I not have this in my collection? I got one more Coyotes jersey. This one I think is even more unique. Now, a lot of you, when Reverse Retro came out, you said, oh my goodness, purple peyote, I gotta have this. And for me, it wasn't quite like that because I was very fortunate not too long ago to actually score this jersey from a Twitter account. I forget which one because I do follow a couple of them, so my apologies. But nonetheless, I think I got this for $140 or $145. One of my followers, one of my subscribers actually said, hey, Nick, go check this out because he knew that I wanted this one. You got the purple V collar here with this off-white, this kind of sand color. You got the gecko on the shoulders there, or salamander, or whatever you want to call it. And of course, you got this lovely desert scape complete with a moon as well. So trippy, the Vision Quest jersey, the Taco Time jersey. And I would crawl over broken glass to have this one in my collection for sure. Next up, I've got the Vegas Golden Knights, and it was, at the time, it was very troubling to see myself put this jersey on, but god dang, it looks good. Nothing special, guys, it's a blank, but nonetheless, this home jersey is beautiful. I love this detailing in the logo here. Just hold that up. I think this is a shining example, pun intended, as to why you should always seek jerseys on licensed NHL products instead of fake stuff. And I have a video as to why you shouldn't buy fake because it actually supports criminal enterprises. So anyway, aside from that, I bought this for about $100 from Retro to Heritage on eBay. The gold is just enough, I believe, for the current gold jersey. That's just overkill. And this color scheme, I mean, I thought this was going to look so tacky and out of place when I first saw the Knights unveil their franchise. And at that time, I mean, we as Sharks fans were like, oh, okay, another rival. That's cool. Yeah, welcome to the league. So we didn't hate Vegas or anything like that like we do now. But yeah, eventually, you know, a couple months in, I saw the Knights out there and I said, damn, they look smoking good in these jerseys. So I absolutely wanted to make sure there's one in my collection. Love these shoulder logos. They work perfectly, I think. Again, symmetrical shoulder logos. I'm a big fan. I eventually do want to get the Reverse Retro. I could go for the away jersey as well, but that doesn't do it for me quite as much. So I figured I'd have something a little different and buy the Reverse Retro if I ever have an opportunity. So great jersey. And for the rest of this video, we'll be purely in California. So we're going to start with the Anaheim Ducks, or should I say the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim here. So I have a CCM Ultra Fill from 1992 or 1993. Love this design, of course, from DT the Mighty Ducks. Man, this color scheme is so odd, but it totally works somehow. And you even have this yellow in the logo to help things pop even more. I love this. This is a blank. Got this for about $35 or $45. No, maybe like $45 from an eBayer. I don't think anybody else bid on this. So I got very lucky with this. Love the eggplant collar. Just a great jersey. And it was part of my favorite jerseys of all time countdown. But I got one more from that list as well. Now, I knew that before I bought this jersey that I would really like it. But when people say somebody asked me on a live stream, they said, okay, Nick, you can only, if your house catches on fire, let's say you can only save 3 jerseys. And so I said, you know what? Even though I'm a Sharks fan, how do I not save this one? This one is just phenomenal. This is a reissuing. It's a CCM vintage. And as you can see, there's an alternate here. And on the back, the finish flash and one of the absolute beauts of all time in the NHL, Teemu Selänne. Wow. This jersey is just complete. It has a really interesting contrast with the eggplant and the jade. I love these shoulder logos. Again, circular, symmetrical shoulder logos are among my favorites. The numbering, I think, is perfect. I just love that there's some separation. Sorry. I love that there's some separation there. I'm messing this up. There's separation there. You have the white, and then you have a little bit of eggplant, and then you have the jade as well, which is not teal. This to me is complete. Just the contrast, the opportunities for that, symmetrical shoulders, the interesting, cut to the bottom of the jersey. This to me is one of the all-time absolute greats. It's this better than I expected it to be, honestly. Now we go to the LA Kings. So even as a Sharks fan, I actually have 3 Kings jerseys, and they're not even necessarily the ones I would collect first and foremost. So I'll explain in a moment. So I have this road jersey from the Reebok era right here. Not the most sensational of jerseys, although the silver is kind of a nice touch, silver and black, just like what was the Los Angeles Raiders at one point. I got this from Kale from Vesper Hockey because he had a giveaway on his channel. I was lucky to win that. And so he sent this to me as a mystery jersey. So I unboxed this in a video, and I was just like, how? Because I never expected to actually collect jerseys for teams that I root against. And so once I got this one, I said, okay, you know what? I'm getting a jersey for everybody. Ducks included, Penguins included, Golden Knights included. So this kind of kickstarted that whole initiative from my end. It's weird because this jersey, I don't like it, but I also do like it. Somehow, it's kind of like a fashion item. It is kind of interesting. So anyway, it was cool that Kale had that giveaway. And it's not the only Kings jersey I got that I wasn't expecting. So literally a few months after Kale's giveaway, I bought a Cool Hockey mystery box, or at least I bought an authentic Adidas jersey, the Granlund one that you saw earlier from Minnesota. And then it came with a mystery box or a mystery jersey. And I unpackaged this on Christmas, more or less. And I got this one. I thought Cool Hockey probably saw my address and said, okay, well, he's in California, so Los Angeles. But nonetheless, it's still cool to have, something like this in my collection that I wasn't expecting. Produced a really funny moment for me on the channel as well. And again, kind of like the white one, even though it doesn't knock me out with its design, in a sense, kind of as a fashion item, it looks kind of interesting. So yeah, I got one more Kings jersey. And strangely, this isn't even the chevron one from the Gretzky era. It's not the crown one from the original era. I like the first design of that, though. I might actually eventually collect that. But here I've got the kind of late 90s to early aughts Kings dark jersey. I wanted to get the purple version of this, but they did a terrible job on that collar, so I just said, no, I can't do it. But purple and black in the NHL, heck yeah, I wish that this would be brought back. Nice little union here between the team's classic purple or forum blue and the silver and black as well, just like the sort of hybrid of what would be the Raiders color scheme and the Lakers color scheme. And yeah, just a really cool logo, really cool crest. I wish they would bring that back in some way, shape, or form. And this is the last of the 3 jerseys that I got from an eBay seller who is based in Japan. Okay, now, my friends, it's time for a dozen San Jose Sharks jerseys. Okay, so what I did with the Sharks here is I'm going in chronological order, and I grew up in Sharks territory, so all of these are still very special to me. Having watched this team in person, I think starting in like 1994 or so. So the first one that we have here is actually one that got handed down to me from my pops, and that is the original home jersey here. I think that he scored this because his company had tickets to a game. I think they had like a suite for that. And so they got this jersey as part of the deal. And so my dad had it, and then he passed it down to me. Yeah, just the classic logo, great striping. It's a CCM Masca, excuse me. You've got, AirNet. You've got, of course, the classic shoulder logo as well. Just terrific, man. I wish that the team would have brought this back for their 30th anniversary. A white version of this would have been perfect, in my opinion. Nonetheless, I can always rest on this classic gem of a sweater right here. And then earlier this year, I said, all right, I can't believe it's been this long and I don't have one of these in my collection. And that's the classic away jersey that the team wore. They wore this line of jerseys, I think, all the way up until 1998. And in teal, this looks even better. I can't really say too much more about this. I got this from an eBayer for about $65. So yeah, great jersey. This is an ultra fill, so the other one was an air knit. I like the ultra fill more for that era of jerseys. Now this jersey here is the first one that I ever was gifted or that I ever acquired before that white one got passed down to me. And this to me still kind of stands out as my favorite Sharks jersey, or at least maybe second favorite. I love this one. This one is it's amazing. It is so freaking ominous. Just all black, just a couple teal stripes. Yeah, maybe lacking something on the waist, but it's just fierce, man. I love it. It's a blank. It's a CCM. And I got this when I was a senior in high school. That's when I really started catching on to the Sharks. A couple of my best friends were really into them. And so, when my mom asked me, what do you want for Christmas? I said, you got to get me a Sharks jersey, Mom. I got to fit in. I got to be cool. You got this venting here on the sides. That's kind of neat. I've worn this jersey so many times, so many playoff games over the years. And yeah, just it hits close to home for me for sure. I love this one. Next up is maybe from my least favorite era of Sharks jerseys. So I have this blank one here from the Reebok Edge era. It is a blank. It's a premier. It's not an authentic. And yeah, I mean, of course, the nice thing about this is it has actual more elements to it than what the current Sharks are wearing. You had the colored shoulder yoke, which I think they could possibly bring that back. You also had this waist stripe here, but the reason, coffee stain. And but the reason that the players didn't like this was because they didn't like the extra weight from this. And so the team eventually stripped that away entirely, which I think was good and bad. The bad part about it was that the jerseys ended up being kind of plain. The good part about it was that they got rid of the orange, or at least they got rid of a lot of it. I think this had too much orange going on. At the time when this came out, this new logo, I thought it was too much like a comic book. So I've grown to be a fan of it. Don't get me wrong. But the classic one always kind of, has a place in my heart, certainly. And then, of course, you got the jumping shark logo, which I never was actually a fan of myself. But overall, I'm glad I have something from this era. I'd like to really get a white one. I like the white one more, but without a number on it because the numbers had too much orange in it. I'm sorry, guys. We're not the Great Barrier Reef Sharks. We're not the Cabo San Lucas Sharks. We are the San Jose Sharks from the murky depths of the Pacific Ocean. Anyway, rant over. Next jersey. And by the way, that last one was another gift. So over the years, my folks got me the black jersey, the jersey you just saw, and then they also got me this one a few years after that. So this is from kind of like the early 2010s when the Sharks actually had numbers on the front. I think I got this one just after they had made the transition to no numbers on the front. And as you can tell, there's obviously a lot less orange in this. And on the back, we've got the current captain, number 39, Logan Couture. And then he actually signed this on at the Fan Fest in 2018 or 2019? 2018, that's right. So it's cool that Cooch signed this for me. Definitely has a lot of wear on it. Did I wear this one when the Sharks were in the Stanley Cup Finals? I think I did, yeah. So I've definitely suited up for battle with this one many, many times. The next three jerseys are all either commemorative or they're alternates. So we'll start with 2015's Stadium Series. I bought this off of an eBayer, on OfferUp. So I met up with somebody in San Jose. You got this really interesting and interesting in a kind of a bad way. This cropping to the collar is really weird in my opinion. But otherwise, this is kind of a unique jersey. A little plain in the sense of the color blocking it's okay. It's a blank. So nothing on the back here, and no white stripe or black at all, which is kind of boring. And then you've got the Northern California patch here that'll hold up, which is funny because the Shark is actually in Southern California. So maybe it's like migrating or taking over SoCal. But the Sharks won, or excuse me, I wish they freaking won. They played in the Stadium Series game at Levi's Stadium, where the Niners played, the 49ers, but they lost to the LA Kings, and I was there, and that game was actually pretty boring. So not the best time going there, but then again, one of my good friends hooked us up with tickets, so I'm certainly thankful for that, and I can say, yeah, I actually went to this game, and hopefully the Sharks get a chance to do something like that again soon. Please, NHL Winter Classic in Lake Tahoe between the Knights and the Sharks. That would be perfect. This one right here is my favorite Sharks jersey of all time. The Heritage jersey for the 25th anniversary, issued in 2015-16. This is a blank. It's a Reebok Premier. I have had an opportunity to buy a Reebok Authentic, which is my holy grail, and I've totally chickened out before when I had a chance to do it. Unfortunately, I think that the only thing better than the original Shark sweater is applying that same design with a darker teal. I think that better complements the black. Again, it's blank. You've got the classic shoulder logos. Here, I'll hold that up. You got the classic shoulder logos, which always look good. But yeah, I found this on, I think, OfferUp or LetGo from somebody in the Bay Area for about $110, I want to say. So I paid a decent price, but this is very rare now. So I'm thankful I cashed in on this. This is what I wore when the Sharks beat the Vegas Golden Knights in Game 7 in 2019, and I was, of course, at that game. So very thankful to have this in my collection. But if anybody ever finds an authentic, anywhere between size 46 and 52, actually even 54, holla at your boy. So hopefully I can add that to my collection one day. Now I'm going to be a little bit out of order chronologically, but I wanted to put this one in here because it kind of caps off our trinity of alternates or like commemoratives from Reebok and beyond, and this is the current Stealth design. This is the only time I've paid full price for a Adidas jersey, except something that I'm not showing in this video. There's a reason why. I absolutely love this. This is just beautiful. I bought this at FanFest in 2018. You can't really see this on camera too well, but you have the circuitry pattern here, which actually has the letters SJ. It's just a little bit hidden there. Love this. It's great. I think the only thing that's missing from it is a little bit of teal striping at the bottom. That's my only complaint when it comes to recent Sharks designs. And I think the best part about this is they kept the old shoulder patch, but they updated it to the Stealth coloring. And as a good amount of you know, I actually have a tattoo of that right here on my upper left arm. So I love this one. One of the better alternates in the NHL still, in my opinion. And I didn't put a number on this though, because I don't like the numbers. They're way too blocky. They should have had some teal inside them, or some like the circuitry pattern should have been in there as well. It's way too plain. So that was a total missed opportunity. That kind of keeps this jersey from being where it's at. In my book, around like an 8 out of 10 or an 8.5 out of 10. It would have been like a 9.5 if they had done that. Okay, so 4 more jerseys, 2 white, 2 teal, all Adidas. This one's unique though, because this is my actual only team issued jersey. So this is my made in Canada. You can see from the collar right there. And I bought this at the end of season sale in 2019. This is Tim Heed here, who's no longer a part of the club. He played for a couple of years as kind of a depth defenseman, decent player. Love these shoulder logos. They look fantastic here. And the stitching on these is actually pretty unique as well. Just a pretty plain jersey overall. So I'd like to buy another made in Canada jersey for a different team, and then use this and that one as a good comparison video to compare made in Canada versus made in Indonesia, which is the current standard retail version. Nonetheless, cool to have this in my collection. It's super big on me, so I don't wear it that often, but I got it for only $200, which is basically the same price you would pay if you got this, in whatever size you wanted, retail and then customized. But the thing is that it's really hard to find this in Adidas right now, especially if you want to get it customized. That said, I eventually got around to buying a white version customized. So I got this in my size from Sports K. I haven't been talking about them. I've bought other jerseys from them that I haven't really talked about yet, I don't think. But yeah, Sports K is a great site for blank Adidas jerseys, and they do some pretty good customization as well. So on the back of this one right here, I have Timo Meier. So I paid overall about $200 for this, But that's really saying something because this jersey is very hard to find otherwise. You can get it at the Sharks store, but you can't buy it on Fanatics.com. You can't buy it on Cool Hockey. So the best place to go is Sports K, because this jersey I think is $125 overall. And you know, I actually really like this a lot more than I expected to, because even though the jersey design is very plain, I think the teal is actually a really nice complement for the white. So this ended up pleasing me more than I had anticipated for sure. So I got 2 more left, and these are home jerseys. So the first of my 2 Sharks home jerseys, I got this one in 2019, as you can tell, because this was from the All-Star game that year, which was in San Jose. I got to go to that, so that was pretty fun. And on the back here, we have, speaking of buttes, guys, come on, is there anyone who's as much of a butte in the NHL today as Tomas Hertl? Guys, just too much fun. He's infectious with that smile of his. I love Hertl. He's the Sharks' best player, I believe, right now. And I'm happy to have a jersey of a Czech player, most definitely. I got this from Cool Hockey. This is not hand-sewn. This is pre-stitched because, you know, just for financing, I just wanted to go with something a little bit more affordable. And it still looks very nice. Of course, with the Sharks home jerseys, you've got this great screaming shark on the shoulders here. I'd love to see a jersey with that at some point. I've worn this jersey plenty already. And this next jersey, I don't really plan to wear at all, and you'll see why. So to wrap things up, and I'm sure that a lot of you have already seen my video on this, I have this Adidas Authentic right here, and it's much bigger, or it's a couple sizes bigger, and that's because that's just what I got shipped. And that's because even though it comes from Fanatics, it has a legendary association with it because we have Barclay Goodrow. This is signed right here. Of course, Barclay Goodrow scored the overtime winning goal. Oh, wait, why do I have it tilted so much? Of course, Goodrow scored the overtime winning goal in Game 7 against the Vegas Golden Knights. And he signed this jersey. And I found this on Fanatics for just over $100. So I said, I can't pass this up. This is too great. I know he's playing in Tampa now. Congratulations for winning the Cup, Goody. You have earned it in spades, my friend. So this is just beautiful. A great way to cap off my Sharks portion of the collection and this video. And I know, guys, this has been such a long video. If you made it all the way through, thank you so much. That helps the channel so much. And make sure that you smash that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe down below if you haven't. Hit the notifications bell. There's more content featuring my jersey collection in the near future. I've got another unboxing coming up probably in a couple of weeks, and you won't want to miss that one whatsoever. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope this was fun for you, and I hope that for some of you, it actually showed you some good outlets for purchasing affordable, licensed NHL jerseys, and I hope to see you again soon for more jersey talk. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. I'll catch you later. Ciao.